everybody, welcome back to Sharon from Vivid Days. It's been a while since I've actually been in front of the camera and had a little conversation with you. So I wanted to talk to you about my Hearts of the Ocean project that I've been working with, and I'll show you an example. I've had 3 pieces where I've been working on doing the back and front of a freestanding heart that will hang, and then people can choose which piece of art they would like to display, and it can either stand in a little easel. But I wanted to share with you some of the challenges and some of the wins I've had while working on these 3. So the concept is a beautiful idea. You can continue your image front and back, or you can have a totally different image, and it's just something fun and different and a really great gift idea. But what I've struggled with as an artist and using fluid art on doing front and back is, how do you control what it is that you're seeing on the front and prevent it getting damaged? And what I mean by that is, I've had multiple days where I started with the front, did my acrylic, did my first layer, did my second layer, all was good, and then I turned it on the back. I should say that was the front, but then I turned it on the back. And then the challenge was, how do I protect the original piece here without it overspilling? And as much as I taped it up, I originally put a sheet of paper underneath it, I put tape around it, but it can't have been airtight, and resin, if there is a gap, or should I say any kind of fluid, if there is a gap, it will find a way. So I have gone backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards, trying to constantly correct the resin overlays, where I'm more or less finished now. But considering this was supposed to be a fun little piece, this has probably had more learns and more intricate than some of the bigger pieces that you have. So yeah, some of the things that I want to share is, maybe next time just do the back or the front, not both. But when you look close, you're left with slight edges where the resin has gone through, and to me it's not perfect, it's still beautiful, but now then I'm going to have to go back and put another fresh coat, a thin layer of resin over it to fix that. But then the dilemma is, I'm probably going to get something that's going to come on this end, so where do you start? So on this piece, the challenge has been the hole and getting your resin to come to the edge, not go through. But then also the back, there's been a little bit of resin that did drip through onto that piece, so I'm quite confident that I can correct that piece. This piece, unfortunately, when I worked on putting the resin over here to fix the imperfection, that worked out beautifully, but as I was taking the tape off this morning, there was some quite big mounds of resin that had gone through here, and then I unfortunately dropped it and took a chunk out of my resin, so you can imagine how happy I was about that. But again, I can fix that for a little bit of a blue acrylic there, and just do one more coat of resin here, and hopefully protect this side. And my final piece has had a similar kind of thing, where the resin leaked under the tape that I've done at the side and underneath. I've got a slight imperfection and raised lump there, so I can add another fresh coat of resin there and sort that out. But this one has a little bump here, so I just wanted to share this with you to show you that it's not always successful in the studio, and you don't always end up with the beautiful finished pieces that you envisage, but there's learns along the way. So I'm really happy with these pieces. I am happy with the learns, but I've also had the most frustrating, challenging time to get out of my head the concept and get it onto these boards. Now I thought the challenge for this was going to be more that it was a very cheap thin piece of board that I'm using here. So what I have done is I sourced out some more hearts from somebody on Etsy, so giving back to other creative people out here. Slightly bigger, a lot chunkier. There is no hole in the middle, so I'm thinking of just hanging these, but I'm deciding to have another go at this on a bigger piece and see if I have more controls in place. But my tip is, don't do 3 at once, or 4 pieces originally, because I did a circle as well. Control it, breathe, preparation and making sure that you're happy that everything is airtight, and not putting too much resin on, because it does, as you know, self-level, and once you apply heat it overspills. So trying to control that, I create that little bubble or air seal around it so it doesn't want to drip over. So I'm trying to work out whether I should just give up on this and leave it as a learn and just leave it at that, or to give it one more go of that fresh coat so that I can at least put them up for sale for somebody to, or gift them. But yeah, it's been an amazing learn, an amazing journey, but I just wanted to show you this. There has been a lot of I want to say bad language coming out of my mouth, which is not normally what art does to me. I'm not normally that kind of person, but just the frustration. And behind me you can see my new control environment for resin. Because the challenge I've been having is, regardless of whether you Uber, dust or anything like that, I don't have a dedicated space for my art. This is a conservatory, so I have taken this, but it is still a place where people are coming and going, and so it's not really a controlled area. But this has been actually really great. So it's what you grow tomatoes in normally, so I've just took it from my dad. He kindly let me have it. And in there is my board that I now sit when I'm doing my resin, so that there is only one point of entrance for the dust or particles. And what I do, you can see the pegs, I have a white sheet that I pull out and cover behind me, just so that I can reduce the amount of dust that's coming in there. And so I'm going to see how that works for me and see if that helps. But that's been an ongoing challenge I've had. How do you get that perfect piece of resin out with not one piece of dust in there? So I'd love for you to talk to me about any suggestions you have. This is not ideal because it can get very warm in there and I feel a little bit restricted. However, when it's just a matter of actually doing the resin art, I'm finding that it is creating that better controlled environment for me. Anyway, so Hearts of the Ocean, I am going to put the video up and show you the processes. You're not necessarily going to see me going backwards and forwards, because that would bore you. But so far these have had two quotes originally either side for the actual art and the image, and then they've had an extra coat on top to try and correct the imperfections. So yeah. Anyway, hope you've been able to hear me over this rain. It's quite nice to have this rain. We've just gone through the most beautiful long summer with very little rain, and I forgot how much I love being in the studio when it is raining. So have the most amazing day, and remember to thumbs up, subscribe, share, help me get my art out there, and comments. I love to interact with you all, so comments are always welcome.
Hi, welcome back to Sharon from Vivid Days. I'm hoping that you're going to be able to hear me because it's raining on my roof. I know you're not going to see much of me, it's going to be in this area here, but I just feel like doing a few fun little pieces. I've had lots of requests for my oceans, and I'm trying to do something that's fun but a bit more affordable for people when they don't have a high budget but they still want to have a piece. Anyway, so what I am going to be doing is, I found these in like a little hobby craft shop. They're just little hearts on a little bit of like plywood. So my intentions is to have a little fun and replicate a little bit of the feel of the ocean on the front and maybe on the back, and then that way they get a choice. And they should be nice little gift ideas. And they came with this string, so I've just taken the string out. So what I'm going to do is prime them with my acrylics. I've surrounded myself with lots of colours that remind me of the ocean. And I am going to have some fun and maybe do a different composition on each. I don't know, we'll see how we go. But I'll do the undercoats all in one go, but I'll do the resin separately because I am going to attempt to resin the front and the back with a slightly different image. So that way if you want to hang them or to rotate them, they've got a nice feel. So yeah, thank you for spending your time with me, and I hope that you enjoy this process. But if you have any questions, make sure you do check in with myself, and have the most amazing day. And even though it's raining, let's pretend we are by the water.
Okay, so I've just finished working on four little projects. Probably a bit too much in one go, but this is the little round piece that had the overspills. So I'm most likely going to have to come in and do a second coat for both of these. But loving that little piece. The hearts, they've come out okay. The idea's good. Not too happy with this one. Want to come back and do coats, but I'll show you. They're all going to have a second coat, but this is currently where we are. All slightly different, but hopefully they will all represent the ocean lapping on to the beach line. Let's see how these cure and if it's going to actually stay on these boards okay or make them sag, and then let's see what it's like when we give them a second coat, and then I have to flip them over the three hearts and do it all over again. Alright, let's see what it's like in 24 hours. So this is showing you version 1, which is side 1. It's had its acrylic undercoat and also 2 layers of resin. So I'm really happy with that. I'm happy with the way that they've come out. The second coat did balance it out. It's been a lot of work when using the cheap boards. There's a lot of air bubbles that come up and a few challenges, but it's worth it. Really love them. And I will be working on the next stage, which is the base, making sure that that's all prepared and repeating the process. But I think it's going to be a nice gift for somebody for Christmas, and there should be a more affordable prices if people like a little bit of this look and want a little bit of my work and the heart of the ocean. This should make a really nice, cute, but also pretty gift. Let's see what next stage does.